What's up, y'all? We're at the movies. I just finished one movie and now we're on to the second one, the first Omen. I love a good double feature day, especially when I don't have to leave the building. I'm starving.
We were made to help you book it in minutes.
The Earth is 70% water. Belongs to us.
All right, let's talk about it. So that was the first Omen, directed by Arkasha Stevenson, stars Nell Tiger Free. So this is a prequel of sorts. It's been a very long time since I've seen any of the Omen movies. I think the last one I saw was the remake in 2006. Yep, it came out June 6, 2006, so 666. I saw it with my mom in Myrtle Beach. Funny story. This has nothing to do with anything, but funny story. It's actually not very funny. 2006, right? So movies are not quite digital. They're still 35 millimeter print. So film strips. The movie caught on fire. I kid you not. We got our money back. But yeah, that was ironic. Interesting. But yeah, the film caught on fire. Forgive me, my voice is kind of going. I've been nasal dripping all week. And I'm very irritated with it. So we're going to get through this as quickly as we can. We're not doing anything new here. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're not giving, a new spin on religious horror. The only difference here, big difference, between this movie and the rest of the franchise is that we have a female director. Her directorial debut. That's interesting. I have 2 directorial debuts in one day. But nevertheless, so, with a female director, the perspective is going to be a little bit different. Women tend to see, women do. Men and women see things differently. We can be looking at the same thing, and if you ask us to describe said thing, a man and a woman are going to give you 2 completely different answers. We tend to focus on different things. So, when it comes to the female body, imagery, facial expressions, and even gore, as it is, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little more feminine, which is weird. You don't usually associate gore with feminine, but it is. It's going to be styled a bit different. It's beautiful in a sick and twisted way, the way she does it. Because, yeah, this movie is very gory, but the gore is very feminine. I don't know how else to make that make sense. There's just something about it that's just almost effervescent. I just love the way she does it. I love female directors. The perspective is just so different. And female directors tend to pay a lot of attention to detail. This woman, I can tell she seems to be very obsessed with the face and eyes. She picked the perfect actress. This actress really knows what to do with her face. She has a perfect face for a scary movie. Now, about this being a scary movie. So this is a prequel of sorts, I guess you could say. The first Omen. The origin story, if you will. I've forgotten how big and bad of a character Damien is. So think of it in terms of that. But we have this young woman named Margaret who is on her way to Rome to start working at an orphanage, and she's getting ready to take her vows. And she connects with this young girl named Carlita. And Carlita is kind of separated from the rest of the girls in the orphanage, kind of treated like a bad kid. She's got behavioral problems, but she sees a lot of herself in her because she has vague memories of being treated like a bad kid at the orphanage she was at. And things kind of tumble from there. It's a little too long for its own good. At times it feels like the story just got a little lost and it dragged a bit. But I liked it. This was probably the best horror movie I've seen so far this year, and that's saying something because there's been quite a bit. And they've all sucked. This didn't suck though. This isn't like boo, jump scare horror. This kind of horror, it's old school. They don't make scary movies like this anymore. It kind of reminds me of The Exorcist, the original one. Now, I wouldn't put this up there with The Exorcist, but The Exorcist is scary. What makes The Exorcist scary is that it attacks all of your senses. Smell, taste, feeling, touch. Instead of, just giving you a quick little adrenaline rush. It makes you uncomfortable. It makes everything uneasy. You don't feel right. Something feels off. It really just messes with your senses. She does that very well here, I think. I think this is kind of a good little, I'd say, reboot, so to speak, in terms of this franchise. I mean, of all the franchises that we've had, I wouldn't mind another The Omen movie. I mean, why not? But what I love about The Omen, because a lot of people ask me, like, why do you watch possession movies or religious horror movies? Well, here's the thing about possession movies. God always wins. 99% of the time. God always wins. That's the whole point, is the power of prayer and the power of faith. And a lot of times these possession movies are metaphors for, more specifically trauma that doesn't get healed, trauma that doesn't get addressed, and, things in our past that creep up. We try to move forward, but we're still carrying things behind us. That's what a lot of the possession movies are about when you really get down to the nitty gritty. And what this thing is about, and this isn't a possession movie, but this is more so about control and people trying to do things outside of God's will and thinking they're powerful enough to do things the way God does and think that they have the power better than Jesus to bring people to the church. That's ultimately what The Omen is about, is the church going outside the will of God to bring people back to the faith, and how wrong it can go. So that's pretty much why I like these movies in particular. There is a lesson of faith in there. You just gotta be patient and sit still. It drags a little too long, but solid. I enjoyed it very much. I liked it. It's creepy. Made me uncomfortable. I appreciated that.